Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the show this evening. It's my big mucker Southside and the legend. As Stevie. How we doing, gentlemen?
Aye, good docs. Good to be on with the legend, Big Stevie, and good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Good evening to the punters, good evening to the techie team. The dream team are on tonight. Me and the Southside. Well done, lads. How are you all?
I'm good, mate, and Stevie will be keeping us updated in the youth game Southside. Is that correct?
I believe so. I believe he will.
No, he's a man with the technical knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. I'm sure he's seen the first 3 goals there. I'm not.
Well, if you want to know the score now, it's half time and it's 3 apiece.
3 apiece. And as Richard Foster predicted, there's more goals in this game. 3 each at half time, I think.
Aye, brilliant.
Oh, dear. Right, well, good to hear his laugh on this Southside.
Aye, yeah, listen, in the dates, it is what it is, aye, but can't keep us doing for long, can you?
No, not at all, mate, not at all. I was going to ask you if you're back in the solid, Stevie, but that's a silly question, really, isn't it?
I'm not really back in the solids. Anytime you get beat with them, it takes me a wee while to recover, let me tell you.
Well, what did you have for your breakfast this morning? Remember, I've got spies in at work at the moment.
Oh, it was a McTripler. You know that. Scottish scone, bacon and black pudding in a one roll. Heart attack in a roll.
He's no back on the solids.
That was the blender.
Was that just for the 9 o'clock break as well, was it? Oh, dearie.
So that was a 9 o'clock break. That's when he was getting up for the toilet before he goes back to his bed, Stevie.
Aye, I know, unreal one, wasn't it? Listen, guys, I just need to remind everybody, we welcome the chase still. We still get more trophies than them. We need to remember that, no? So dust ourselves down, prepare ourselves right for next season. Just win the next 5 games, move on to next season, get a good pre-season, and we go again.
Oh. This time of night, who comes in this time of night? What do you think?
More likely, drum chapel.
Police or Jehovah's Witness? Police or Jehovah's Witness? What you going for, Southside?
What about welfare officer?
It's a society, man.
A profi guy.
These are out here slagging the drum like that, by the way.
Profi man up there. You'd rather work in the Sudan, wouldn't you?
Aye. When they go out there, his pockets full with it.
Right, okay. Well, fair to me and Southside, Stevie, so the floor's yours, mate. Get off your chest, say what you feel, say what you think, mate.
I just feel as if, my front 3 are letting us down badly, and you look at their I hate doing it, but I've got to do it. Look at Jota, Maeda and Kyogo are bringing to them, and look at our front 3 are bringing. It's just night and day, and that's the difference between the teams. Our defence isn't great, big goals and just back right enough, but their defence, that's Starfelt and that. We're playing them off apart at times, and we just have nothing up front, nothing. Ryan Kent, dearie me. Time for the front 3 to go. And that's just how I feel. We've got to rip it up and start again. I'm not getting into the game, Ox. It's the same.
Who's the front 3 then? Who's the front 3? Is that Kent, Sakala and Morelos? Is that who you're calling?
Yep, that's it. Rip it up and start again. Kent is just non-existent. Absolutely brought nothing. If you try to tell me we've not got a boy in that youth set up that could have ran about and done what Ryan Kent done on Sunday, absolutely terrible. That's how he was took off at half time. He should have been hooked before it. But anyway, look, Morelos, I've had my gut full of the boy now. It's the same old. He's no doing nothing. He comes, there's times you're going, you need to run in there, you need to get bodies in the box, and just not doing it. For me, his time's up. The ship's sailed, man, and it's time. Sakala's 100%. You know you're going to get 100%. And, man, yeah, how does he miss it? I mean, he missed one against them the League Cup final, and then exact same chance, more or less, give or take, and he's done the same thing again. He's a professional player. He's got to still be putting them away. I'm sorry.
He never hit the target with the 2 attempts, mate, for a total of maybe 8 yards. The 2 attempts. No.
Then I'm going to tell you something. My boy would have scored them. I'm telling you that right now. Jamba would have scored them, and I mean that. I just think, look, Morelos, he's away, he's home, he comes back overweight, he doesn't show his teammates respect, or the fans that pay his wages respect, and it's just time for him now. We need to rip it up and start again, Ox. We really do. I've got a few things that I know I'm thinking about. Who would I keep? I would probably keep Tav, but no as a right back, or a captain. I would keep him, and Golson I would keep. Cantwell, Raskin, a few others, maybe Hadji and guys like that you maybe keep, but the rest of them, I mean, it's going to happen. Your Hollanders, your Roofs, all these guys, and the front threes I mentioned, Kent, Morelos, Sakala, Kamara, Davis, all these guys have all got to go now. McGregor, gone. You know, I know it's not going to be that much of a turnaround. Every 11 players are going to go and 11 players are going to come in. It's not going to happen like that, but I wished it could. I really do wish it could.
I think you could be surprised, mate. I think there's going to be a rapid turnover, and there's going to be a lot of players out and a lot of players in. Southside.
Listening to what Michael Beale said, and he said maybe as many as 11 or 12, we might have to front load this, you know, get a right good gut out and go for it and sign the players that you're hoping will be part of a successful team for the next 2 to 3 seasons. And that's what you've got to look at when you're building the team and the player and at their ages. So I think we might probably fling a bit more at it than we might have done, because the surgery does need. It's needed, and it's needed drastically. A lot of the players have just went stale and all. But it needs gutted, and I think you could be left with, we'll be left with probably at least a hardcore about 7 or 8. But in time, Tav and Golston probably in time will probably move on, as I keep saying. They'll not see the 4 years at Rangers under Michael Beale. I wouldn't expect him to. But the rest of them, Suter, Stevie, I'd probably keep the big man.
Aye.
And Tom Lawrence, hopefully when he can come back for injury, we can maybe see something for him going forward. But I agree, Alfie, Kent and Sakala in time. I'd keep probably playing him, because if he scores goals until the end of the season, clubs will come and look for him, and he'll get a move. And if the money's right, then he'll go right out the door. But at the moment, he's done his a turn. And one of the performance on Sunday, Steve, is just one of the performances you can get off Sakala. He's either good or bad, as we've said umpteen times, and that was one of his bad games. But when he's having a bad game, you're hoping another striker might step up and go and pop one in the net for you. And obviously, he wasn't at the races either. So it is what it is, and it started at boardroom level. New chairman in. We've seen a lot of people move out, and there'll probably be a few more. We've seen it in the academy. We'll see it in the first team, and hopefully that's the start of a new era going forward. In the board, I've got some good plans in place to back Michael Beale, and hopefully we'll get the right squad, mate.
I've got a question for both you, intellectual chaps, yeah?
Right.
Do you think that when Michael Beale spoke to the board back in November, that he realised that the surgery was going to be big, or do you think it surprised him? Southside, then, Stevie.
Wow. I think he must have, well, if he's known he was going to be coming, he's obviously looked for a distance at the squad. I think he might have, at the start, thought they might have been a wee bit better than what they were. Levels of fitness, maybe desire, heart, want to stay there. And I think as it's went on, Ox, I think he's realised that a lot of them either don't want to be there, or they just know where they were, where he thought they might be.
Stevie?
For me, For me, I would have honestly said if they sat down, I don't think he thought the surgery would have needed to be a big one. After the Scottish Cup final, after Sunday, and after the League Cup final, and that, I think they would have that would have changed his mind that more players need to go and wait his thought 100%. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I've got it in my head, right? See if we're ripping it up. We need a new goalie, obviously, and I would honestly say we need a right back. I would push Tav into the midfield. Tav's an attacking right-hand-sided midfielder.
Don't see it, mate. Don't see it. If he was in there in midfield, mate, he's not getting to come late into the box. It's a different game. I don't think Tav could play there. Only my opinion, Stevie.
Yep. Well, I disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think Tav would be a good midfielder pushing forward. Cantwell on the left and Raskin as your holding. I really do think that would be good, but I would take the captain. I don't know what anybody thinks, just my opinion. I don't think he's a captain, right? And I've always said that, and then I thought, no, wait a minute. He's shown captain qualities here. He's a lovely guy and all the rest of it, but I want to rip it up. I want somebody else to come in and be captain. I want to push Tav into attacking midfield. Tav, Raskin and Cantwell going forward, because Tav's a threat. Need two ways about it. Tav's the threat that we had on Sunday. Anytime we play them, it's Tav, it's real threat. What does that tell you about our front three?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's part of the problem.
So I would honestly put Tav in the midfield. I really would. No, as captain, but rip it up, start again, put him in the midfield and start again. We need a new back line with Golson in it, but we definitely need. I'm not even too sure about Bonner anymore. Do you know that? And then I'm saying to myself, young Ridvan, if he was that good, would he have had more time by now? You know, I'm not too sure about any of them. You know, but Shooter I would keep. Definitely keep him. He's a commanding. He wins balls in the air, and that's what we need. He commands in the air, Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think Golson's a real commanding defender.
No, never has been. Southside.
Ridvan, I think might be all right, to be honest, for us. I know there's been people saying and he's probably going to get punted if somebody comes in and makes a reasonable offer, and that might be the case because Michael Beale might not fancy maybe the size of him and that, and might not really want him. But I thought he put a right good tackle on Sunday around about the halfway line for a wee guy that's been out injured. Played for Besiktas. He played in Europe. He's played in big derbies out there. He's played, I just think he's probably got what we need. It's just a chance of seeing him, and I'm hoping over the next 4 or 5 weeks he gets to play left back. I think we know what Bonner can do, and I think it's time for, hopefully, the wee man will come in and we'll maybe see some performances. Ops.
Where are you on the other side? Tab playing in midfield?
No, I want a creative player in my midfield if I'm putting somebody on that side. I want somebody that will drive, get pace, and I know Tav gets there and he comes in, but I think it's always the reason is because he can come in late and he can go and join the play. I think going into that side, you're going to be up against an opposition player, whereas when we've got the ball going forward, he can trot up the right-hand side, Stevie, like he does, and he can either come to the edge of the box or he can come into the back of the box, and I would just prefer that he could. But I don't know. I don't know if he would be possibly playing on the right hand side. You could in a 3-5-2, Stevie. You'll get him in there in a 3-5-2.
Then we'll get 5 defenders on the park.
Well, technically, if you're saying, your two full-backs don't usually normally defend, do they?
No, that's a good point, mate.
So you're as well up there, isn't they?
Stevie, in you come, mate.
I just think you'd be better with a right back that can defend. A right back that can defend. No, and that's his main source of his game, is defending. Tav's we all know he's a wing back, you know, but I just think, honestly, I think Tav would be good at an attacking right hand side of the midfield, getting in the box, creating, because that's what he does. That's the best bit of his game. And we need people in the box.
Listen to the wise man there. He's coming late, mate. It's a different when he's up against somebody in midfield.
I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I'd love to experiment with him. I really would, because I think he's a far better player going forward, and I think
then he would have to win. He would have to win headers in the midfield. He'd have to play sometimes with his back to the play.
He's good at winning headers. He's what against Galatasaray. He scored with the heat. He scored with the heat a few times.
That's because he arrives late. Yeah.
What does Gregor do? He houses the ball up to him, and Tab's always heading the ball on the line, isn't he?
Does he?
Aye, quite a few times in a game you'll see that McGregor putting it.
He might kick it out there, but I'm not saying he always headers it.
Look, we can agree to disagree, but I would love to see that midfield.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll ask the listeners, Biggie. Yeah?
I hope the listeners, I hope some of them. See, I'll be delighted if at least one or two agree with me. He's not a captain and he's not a defender. It doesn't matter what we say. What he's good at is going forward and creating, and the Rangers have just scored 4-3 to the Rangers young boys. Penalty kick.
There we go. And now every faithful and our technical expert there, Southside, they wouldn't let us down.
Aye. Listen, it's something that you could try, but I think in a 3-5-2 you would get that sort of idea, Stevie. I get what Ox is saying and all. When you're playing right side of midfield, you'll be. I just think he does a job for where he comes from, and when you've got the ball to the other side, he's just got the freedom to go and ghost up there and get in the box. He's pretty good in the air. I agree with you. Sometimes McGregor will knock the ball out there and he wins quite a few headers. I get that, what you're saying as well. But I just think when he's taking the ball in, he's sort of back to goal and he's got to go left or right. And I want a creative player, I want a skillful player in there. I would rather somebody like Todd Cantwell go to the ball in that position and we then go and drive. And I know Tav can do that as well. He can go and drive forward, but it might be something that he might look at. But I think it will only happen in a 3-5-2, in my opinion.
Here's a question I was asked today with somebody, and I want to ask you too, learned gentlemen. We play this, and you talked about different shapes there. We play this 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it, yeah, but usually it's a 4-2-3-1. And we're playing the same system at home to Motherwell as we do against teams that are so different. For instance, we played the same system there as we did in Ajax. And we're falling into the same predictability again, Southside. We've got to look sometimes and have more fluidity, be more flexible in my thinking, mate. If you like horses for courses. Southside then, Stevie.
Aye, it's all right saying, we all say on here we only need to play one holding midfielder at Ibrox. And probably you should only be able to do that. But then teams come and they'll play the 5 and the 4, or they'll play 5 in the middle of the park. We've played 3 in there against 4 and 5 at times, and it's about getting on the ball and dominating it. But you need to be quick thinking and get the ball moving fast, and you can probably overcome that, which we've done many a time before. But I just think we've got to get the right sort of squad first, and I think nothing will really take shape to next year. But I think going forward, Docs, we've seen all the different permutations, the 4-3-3, 4-4-2, and a box. I've seen them line up like a box, and then we had Kent at the top of the diamond, and we had Lundstrom at the back of it, and we had Cantwell and Raskin at either side, and we played the diamond and stuff. So he's maybe just looking at different ideas now, but I think in his own head, he's got the idea of the players, and I think they'll be able to execute his plan better than what we're seeing now, to be honest.
For me, I just think it's a matter of opposition you're playing. What way you set up? I mean, you're playing at Ibrox against all these wee teams, man. We should be playing 3 at the back and going for it. We should be. We really should. We should be. I know they set up in us low block and all that, but if that's the case, the low block, well, we only need 3 at the back, surely. Flood the midfield and get players into the box up front. Surely. That's how we must be playing when we go to Ibrox. Most of the teams play that low block, and their managers get credit if they manage to sneak a draw or whatever. It's brought, but a team like Rangers at Ibrox with a crowd behind them, if they're playing a low block, We should be playing 3 at the back, flooding the midfield and getting as many players up there into that box as we can get. I would love to see Rangers just gone full out attack. Sometimes you see the formation, you're going, why is that 2 holding midfielders at Ibrox? Come on, man. Well, surely Michael Beale must see what we see.
All right, just a question, right? I'll tell you what we'll do if it's all right with you two gentlemen. We get the phone lines open.
I'll go.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask the Tav question. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay. Stevie's put it out there. Do you think that Tav would be better playing in the right side of midfield? Simple. It's an easy question, isn't it? South side. Simple, isn't it?
Aye, simple question, simple answer. No.
How is it going to tell me? How is it? It's always me ends up against you two. I know my colour apron's different for you two, but how does it always end up me against you two? No matter what it is, it's you always take his side. See, you Rabbi Burns, man, honestly.
I'm not taking his side, I'm just looking at it. I think it could work maybe in a 3-5-2, Stevie, but I don't think sticking them in and playing them in a 3 in the midfield and then filling somebody else in at right back and playing 4 at the back, and you're saying play a midfield 3 at Tav in the right, maybe, right? That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Aye, definitely. Tav in the right, Cantwell on the left, and Raskin as your holding midfield.
I'm honestly not teaming up with him. I'm just giving you an honest answer. I'm not sure if that would work. I can see your rationale in it. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if it would work. I think it might work in a 3-5-2.
I'm not ganging up on you. When you're rang, you're rang.
Oh, man. Listen, I just think...
You're not the first one to say that, Stevie. You're not the first one. I'm only giving you my opinion. I think that Tav's successful coming into the box and getting his chances because of where he plays, and he gets, it's, if you like, he's ghosting in late, you know. I think if he played in midfield, he wouldn't have that. I don't think I've not seen him with that. Yes, mate.
I've written about Tav as off forward play. He can hit a ball. You've seen what he can do for a free kick. It's off forward stuff that he's good at. Running into the box, crossing the ball. Nothing about him's good about defending. He was caught there on Sunday ball watching Jota run in front of him.
He was talking defending, but I'll tell you what, he never gave that guy a kick. The other guy a kick, did he?
No, I understand that. But I just think you're talking about creativity up front. Well, if you've got Tav running into the box who can hit a ball, we can't tell there too.
Sorry, mate, I shouldn't laugh. Right? Someday, I wouldn't mention any names, but the two of you met him up at Aberdeen, right?
Right.
So when your doorbell went, he texted me and said, "Did somebody say just eat?" And he's just texted me again and said, Big Stevie's got a different colour apron for every delivery driver that comes to his door."
Would that be CC by any chance?
Oh, name's no pack drill, wouldn't it be fair?
If you're listed CC, you're in for a thanking the next time I see you.
Tell you couldn't go to court with him, could you, man? Unbelievable. They names, they pack drill.
4 each.
We didn't want to know that.
And on go.
All you'd have to do is tickle his feet outside, wouldn't it? Be it.
Yeah, I'll say there's a big pie coming, man.
Just get the pistol wafted through the door. Right. Look, I'm just telling you what I think, Stevie. Look, this is not a debate as new as is it? With Tav in that position, that people have said that before, you know, and I don't think he's ever played there. But I think we've once tried 3 at the back against Motherwell under Gerrard, with Katic and Golson. I can't remember who else played. Katic, Golson, and we went Pete Tong, didn't it? You know, I think we We lost a goal in the last minute, Southside, from memory.
We tried that at Ibrox. It didn't work out at that time. I can't remember who was the other one either, to be honest, but it didn't work out. It didn't look comfortable. But it might work now because we've got Davis at the moment and that, and you could maybe look at that going forward. And that's a debate to have, Stevie. Like, it might not be a bad idea to try it because there's nothing ventured, nothing gained. You know, the most ridiculous one I heard was a few weeks back on a podcast. Somebody says he'd play Tavernier as a centre forward to the end of the season. But I get your rationale being slightly on the right. But it's something that Michael Beale might try, mate. I don't know. Listen, we can rip it. He's ripping it up as he's going along, so you might as well try different things, eh?
Southside, Tav's got an engine. Cantwell looks as if he's coming, he's getting his fitness up, he's got an engine. And Raskin speaks for itself, playing the holding midfielder. He's tidying up everything and moving the ball quickly to these two guys. I think it could be a great wee midfield. I really do. And I think it would take a lot of pressure off Tav, because I just don't think the boy likes defending. Although he's stuck it out, I just don't think the boy likes that side of his game. I really don't. He's more comfortable going forward.
I don't think you would see Tav. I think you see Tav in a different light, mate, playing that game. You know, he'd have to take the ball in with his back to goal, and I've not seen it for him, mate. Honestly, it's just only my opinion, no, but I've not seen him play like that. I've not seen him take the ball in like that. He's always facing the play and he's making late runs. Yeah, you're right about his finishing. He's finishing. Well, I think he's my top goal scorer, Stevie, isn't he?
That's what he is. You know, that's what I'm saying. I've written about him, Mox. He can hit a ball. He's got some engine. He can cross a ball. It's screaming out. I think it's screaming out. I don't want it to be deed in the water before it even gets tried, but I just hope the listeners are listening in tonight. At least one or two of them can see what I'm talking about and come on and side with me, because I'm sick of coming on this show and I feel as if you two just gang up me all the time. So, come on, the listeners, come on and tell us what you think. This is what the platform's about. Good, healthy debate.
Southside, don't pick on him.
I'm not actually. He's got a point. I get what he's saying, but I'm not siding with him. But he sounds like he's looking for a bit of sympathy and all there at the end, innit? That speech. Come on, the listeners. I'm getting ganged up on here.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Aye. Well, aye. I do think sometimes. I mean, Tav defending for the goal was shocking. You know, we can't hide for that. But God, Stevie, there was a catalogue of errors before it got that far, wasn't there?
Listen, the Oz slaughtered Bonner for the same thing. He fell asleep at Parkhead twice, jotting that done in front of him, put it in the net. We slaughtered the guy. We slaughtered Bonner. We called him for everything. Listen, I don't think we're learning. I don't think Bonner's learning for his mistakes. I don't think Sakala's learning for his mistakes when they open goals. I just don't think we're learning for Stoughton. They're quick shies. We don't learn what they do. I mean, the goal, as you said, it was just a catalogue of errors. Well, we're all waiting in the whistle blowing and we all froze. 4 players run about the ball froze. I mean, when are we going to learn for us, Ox? When are we going to start learning? This is what I'm talking about. I want to rip this whole thing up and start again. We need new blood in there. We need guys with a bit of iron. And I'm telling you now, for me, what I'm talking about tonight to you about Tav is, that's the side of a game. Tav's a nice guy. He's a football player. He's not interested in the dirty side of the game. That's why I think he's probably better in the midfield as well. You know, you're wanting a player that will get in there and give you a bit of iron, a bit of guile. I don't see that in your team. I really don't.
4 players running the ball. I'm just saying you that still.
Well,
have a look at it. 4 players. You know, but look, it's all for debate. I mean, it's not your fault you're wrong, but it's all a good, healthy debate. You know what I mean?
It was about reacting. It's all right, no reacting to the first time when they're all standing looking, it's how you react to the second. And Tav was still ball watching with goals, and when the ball was getting close to her, and he had no idea where Jota was, and that's just criminal. You know, you can't let anybody run after you and watch what's happening at the other side. You've got to react to the second ball, and we didn't, and it cost us a goal. And it's because it keeps happening, and the same type of goals, sloppy goals. But we've seen them running in at the back post. Borner get caught with a bada and all. Same thing coming in.
Borner get caught the week before up at Aberdeen.
Well, aye, but
learn. That's my whole thing. Are they going to learn?
No, maybe they're past learning. If you're being honest, you know, they're all serious pros now. I don't know what you do. You know, you maybe just that's just flaws in their game, and we have to move on. You know,
maybe they would learn if their captain pinned them against the wall off time and said, "What was that? What the hell was that? That's happened A, B, and C. What are you playing at?" Maybe it would if we had a captain that they'd be free to get into. I've not got anything like that, Ox. They're never going to learn because everybody's too nice. Don't worry about that. Don't listen to the outside noise and all this crap. Man, get out there and fight for that badge. Get everything you've got. I don't see it. I really don't. Too nice.
That's one thing you couldn't throw at Tav, even though he was involved in the game. His effort on Saturday and Sunday in the second half, he was driving us forward, coming deep for field, coming deep for fullback, and getting involved. And obviously came late. Hello, is that Josh? Yeah.
John,
how we doing, John? All right.
That's all. Not bad at all.
What's on your mind?
Well, I've been listening to the programme and just a couple of things, points that I want to raise. Everybody's talking about these defensive mistakes as if it's something new or something that emerged under Gio and has carried on. But this has gone back to, think back to under Warburton against Hibs, and then tell me a time, in the final I'm talking about, and then tell me when it's any better between then and now. There's something inherently wrong in the system at Ibrox. I just don't get it. This isn't a new thing, and the only constant in that is Tavernier. And I know that he's, I know he's given us his goals and all that, and we're grateful for them. But his goals have only served to paper over the ineptitude of the likes of Kent and Morelos. And we've covered that. So I just don't get that. And if you think back to the scoring, under Warburton as well, where we had Joey Garner, we had Martin Waghorn, we had Candace. Do you remember the chances they used to miss? Something is badly wrong at Ibrox and has been for years. This is not a new thing. And the other thing I was hoping to say, we talk about Zach Lovelace, what he never played on Sunday, and about throwing him in and all the rest of it. We knew we were going to get nothing from Morelos. And I'm old enough to remember Derek Johnson getting put on as a 16-year-old and scoring the winner. So, Zach Lovelace, there was a stage there for him, and who knows, he might just have been up to take it. I don't get this clamour to have Arfield bowing out at the end of the year. We need a Scottish contingent. If we're going to bring in all of these players and get rid of all the dross, I don't see Arfield as being dross. I see him as being somebody who can just add a wee bit of continuity, and we're going to need that. I'm not saying he's the best, I'm not saying he's the youngest, but he gives us something, and we're going to need that going forward. And the only other thing I wanted to say was I would like to see, you talked last night about director of football, who's it going to be, do we need it? I would like to see Stephen Gerrard as director of football.
Wow. Bridgeman, you'll make his day. Right, good points there, John. A lot of good points. Well, That was a constant for the Warburton era. I don't think he was culpable for the goals at Hampden that day. I've still got Nicky Clark getting the ball away for the first one in my mind right in front of me. Southside, but we defended well the 55 season in the league. Yeah.
I'm about to say that, yep.
We did, but I will say that 55 season's a wonder season for what we done and the amount of goals we conceded. We only conceded 13, but in reality, I mean, I've said it even during that season, we get either the goalkeeper saved it or it went by the post. The following season, that didn't happen. They just kept getting in the net. So I put the 55 season down to John was just one of the wonder seasons. I agree. I don't think we're dominant. I don't think we've been dominant in a while in the air. I think Ben Davies coming in sometimes wins headers, but I don't think he's as physical as what he needs to be. Connor Golson, I don't think he's a physical player really. He doesn't always win his headers in the air either, and I don't think he's dominant enough. I think when we had Katic there, he was dominant, but his passing was a bit erratic and stuff. But I think that's what we needed, that type of centre back that can win it. I think John Souttar's come in and can win the headers. I think he's done pretty well in the air. I just think he needs a bit more time to bed in. But where we play him, and I think if you do play him, you need to play him on the right. And I think we had a goalkeeper in Alan McGregor, as we know, who didn't come out for a lot of cross balls at any time and stuff. And we've lost goals for the time that he's been there. I mean, I think back, we still lost goals when Richard Goff and that was in the team with John Brown and stuff. You know, you'll always lose goals in the air.
But we won 9 in a row. We won 9 in a row with
I know.
With Davy Weir as Warburton's assistant, and we couldn't defend for blooming. Our life depended on it.
Remember we had players like Rob Kiernan in there playing, if you remember. You know, he was going to be a future England centre back according to Mark Warburton at the time. You know, but look, we need to tighten up the defence and we need to hope that it gets better. And I think it will start when we get a new goalkeeper. If we get a good goalkeeper, right size, and if it is Jack Butland and he comes in, and hopefully he'll be hungry for plenty of success. And if he gets his confidence back and he's the one that will come out, he'll marshal that defence, he'll control them, and hopefully he'll come out his area and get the cross balls that Alan McGregor never done. And that takes a bit of pressure off your centre-backs as well, John.
I get that, but it's just, okay, I just don't understand. I just don't understand what's been going on. It's just mental. And I would have brought on Lovelace on. I would have put him in there on Sunday because we knew we were going to get nothing for Morelos. And I would just have hoped for a Derek Johnson type. I know he's not 16 anymore, Lovelace, but I would have liked to have seen a Derek Johnson type performance in the 1970 League Cup final because, that was just special.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a Derek Johnson at the club, mate. That's the problem. I mean, Derek Johnson was a top footballer, you know.
But not 16, he wasn't. As I recall, he'd only played one game the week before. And then Waddle says, right, go home, get a good night's sleep. You're playing tomorrow. That he was untested at that time.
The people at him don't come across. Well, they're only maybe once in a generation. I mean, you think about it. 18 months later for that, he's playing at centre back in the European final and strolled it. And if you get the chance to watch that game again on YouTube, mate, watch the touch and the poise and the grace of Derek Johnson at the back. You know?
I know he was some player. He was definitely some player. But anyway, so, thanks for taking my call, guys. No. I don't know what you think about Gerrard as director of football. Tick a few boxes for me.
I think... well, people, obviously, we weren't happy the way Stevie G left, but we'll take this to Stevie. Our Stevie. We've missed him. Whether you want him involved again because of how he left, Stevie, but we've missed him.
Well, he's got the stature. He works works well with Beale, and he wouldn't have the problem that he apparently had with being away from home. That wouldn't be such a problem because he can do all his telephoning and working from home. So it ticks a few boxes as far as I'm concerned. And, he works well with Beale. You know, why not? Why not? I can't think of anybody better. But I know I'm going to get slagged off for this tomorrow.
Nah, it's up to you, mate. It's up to you. Stevie, and you come, mate?
I think Stevie G, he's a world icon, isn't he? He's known for his football, one of the best midfielders on the planet at one time, and I just think if you're signing players and he's at the airport waiting to get off a plane, it's some pull on it, really. I would have him back, put it that way. I know he left, and the way he left wasn't the greatest, but I think the boy himself would jump at the chance to come back to Rangers in some capacity. Now that he's been to Villa and how that turned out, I think he would absolutely love to come back, so he would. But can I just ask you, we're talking about Scotty Arfield. What's your caller's name again?
John,
Forum in Plymouth.
You were talking about keeping Scotty Arfield. Would you like to see Scotty Arfield's team, and who would you drop for him?
Sorry, say that again. You broke up there.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you were saying you would like to keep Scotty Arfield. You think he's an asset? Would you like to see him starting in the Rangers team?
Not necessarily, no, because he's not his youngest. But I think when he comes on, he offers us something that a lot of players don't offer us there at all. And if we're looking for, you know, who do you keep and who do you keep and who do you let leave? He would certainly be one of the ones that I would be considering keeping there as somebody who's got a bit of Rangers backbone and can come off the bench. And yeah, I know maybe we've been bitten before about 35, 36-year-olds or whatever, but you know, I think you do need a bit of Rangers DNA in there. And there's too many players at Ibrox now who just don't have that. And if we're looking at players that we're going to keep to add a little bit of stability, then why not? Why would Arfield not be one of them? But no, I don't think necessarily he would come off the. You know, he would start every game for me. No, definitely not. They give you 100% every time. You always know that he'll leave something on that. You know, he'll leave it on the park for you.
Just while we've got you on, John, how's the club gone in the new clubhouse? You know,
that's good. It's good. It's going for strength to strength, and it's just nice people, and you know, it's we get guys coming down every now and again for Scotland and things like that, and it's just it's a really nice club. But there you go.
We would come back, but Fox got us all barred.
Oh, that was some night. That was some night. I'm still dining out on that joke I told you, but you probably can't remember it about the Twins. But I'm still dining out on that. It's good.
It was a good night. It was a good night. A good night and a good morning. It went on a while.
It did, aye. It was good, aye. It was a whole, and then it was a whole weekend, wasn't it? But there you go. Anyway, so it was nice to talk to you. Thanks for taking my call, and hopefully I've got a few points there that John might have a few views on.
Oh, can I ask John a question before he goes?
Aye, of course you can. See
how you're talking about Scotty Arfield, right? And you're saying about coming on, and all right, it's good to get you a goal, right? But we've got to think back to he's hardly been in the team this year, right? He came on, but if he didn't come on the other day and nick a goal against St Mirren, we probably wouldn't be talking about him. Do you not think it would be better, as we talked about earlier, to maybe say, well, I'll just use two players. I'm only picking two here. Say you say Lowry or a Lovelace, right, since you mentioned them, right? Because I agree, I would have had him on the bench, right? And I know he's young and he's a bit inexperienced, but would it not be better to say, just using one of the two boys or any other two boys out the academy that are maybe up there and say, you take that bench instead of Scotty Arfield, and hopefully you'll come on the park and you'll get the experience, so you might do something and you might be able to show us what you've got coming for the academy, rather than go back to somebody who's 35, maybe nearly 36. You know, is it no better we try and do that?
I think what you're saying is a great point. But what I would say to you is that the mood music seems to be that Arfield shouldn't be given a new contract at any cost. What I'm saying is that of the people that you're thinking of keeping, he needs to be one of the ones that at least consideration's got, rather than a clamour to just say, right, okay, we're going to get rid of this guy, without giving consideration. The management will be sitting down and giving consideration to who they're going to keep. And all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Arfield might get punted, but it shouldn't be a done deal at this, that he's just automatically going to be punted. I think consideration should be given to, is this one of the guys that we want to keep? So I don't think maybe I worded it wrong, but I'm not saying that he should definitely be kept, but I think he should be considered as one of the people who can offer us something going forward. Because there are people there.
Would you not give him a coaching? Would you not give him a coaching role then, John?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's his thing, or if he's any good at that sort of a thing. Because we've seen people coming in before, and I go back to Davy Weir again. Davy Weir couldn't flip and organise the defence for the bench.
Do you know what Davy Weir's doing now?
No, what is he doing now?
He's a director of football at Brighton. They're not doing too bad, are they?
But he didn't have to organise the defence.
No, that's true. Just the players this side. They're doing all right, aren't they?
Yeah, true enough. I didn't know he was down there. But I don't think it necessarily follows that people who are good players then become good coaches. And also you've got to avoid the fact that you just end up with all your, the manager's mates there.
Would you say that good coaches? Would you say that before you go? Would you say that good coaches become good managers?
I don't know. I would think it would be. I would think it would be a good learning curve. I think you're probably getting at the fact that Michael Beale's a rookie manager, but. Yeah, I mean, I think they probably do if they're given the chance. And the money, but the difficulty is he going to be given the chance and the money? I think, yeah, I'd like to think that he's going to make a success of it. Aye, yeah.
All right, great to speak to you, mate. Great to speak to you.
Thanks for taking my call. I really enjoyed it. All the best.
Don't be a stranger, mate. In that, yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Good points, and we've had the debate about Scotty on here before, Stevie, about, obviously his age and how many minutes you're going to get, and maybe your budget, you're going to be paying £200,000, £400,000 to retain somebody you're not going to play, but people are entitled to their opinion, Stevie, yeah?
That's it. I mean, what would Scotty Arfield be on a week? Surely we've got a young fit boy like Lowry, and that you could... maybe getting the same money he's getting, you could start him. You know what I mean? Not just coming on as a sub, But look, the ship's sailed for me. It's time now for guys like Stevie Davis, Scotty Arfield, McGregor, etc., that they all go. They all go. He might be a good guy to have about the training ground. Scotty Arfield, I know apparently gives the place a lift, but maybe in a wee coaching role, I don't know. But no in the squad anymore, mate. No time for sentiment. It might be one of the boys' favourite players, Scotty Arfield, but we've got to, no more time. We've just got to go for it now, man, and wrap it up. But we can't keep just hanging on to players for the sake of it. There's, dear.
So outside.
Aye, I mean, we've talked about it, and I get that Scotty Arfield this and Scotty Arfield that, but you've got to look at Scotty Arfield's game time now this season under Michael Beale. I get that we don't need cheerleaders to tell people about the club. That'll be explained to them. Todd Cantwell's already spoke about what was required, and he knows it's big games and you have to win and all that, so that gets drummed in. And if you look across the city, as I've said, they've not got any Celtic supporting players playing their first team. They'll shout Callum McGregor and the other one, the left back. No, he tells you he was a Rangers supporter. He was at Rangers when he was younger, and Callum McGregor was never one of them to start with. So they don't have any other Celtic supporters in their team, and they seem to be able to do things all right and work hard. So that's nothing to do with it. I just want 11 players that will play well, hungry, and will go and make success and want to win things together. And then they'll get a feel for the club. But eventually they'll leave, because if they get playing well and they get noticed, we'll sell them. So that's why it is. But we've got to get them back playing, and the players that we sign, we've got to look at, we might have to move them on in a 2-year or a 3-year cycle. And hopefully they'll get us decent money and we start again. And that's just the way it's going to be, because it's been explained by the club umpteen times that we'll move players on if the price is right. So we have to accept that. But first we need to get a team together, something that we can go and watch, support. And as long as Michael Beale builds that team that he sees in his eyes that he can work with, and he's got that system, we're just looking forward to next year, mate. That's all we're looking for, a good freshness and something to go and watch week in, week out. It's going to be a decent type of football, but a winning brand of football, mate.
Anyway, we've been joined by old David. Evening, David.
Evening, boys. I couldn't resist phoning when I heard it was a dynamic duo that was on tonight.
How you doing, Bert?
I'm doing fine, guys. I think Stevie was ready to gauge the score of this game.
I was just going to give a wee update. It's still 4 each, but Lovelace has been sent off for simulation. 2 yellow cards for simulation.
Oh, he'll get a game the first team then. Anyway, regarding the comments we're making, see this thing we're talking about Tavernier. We have got to start from scratch here, guys. The 2 fullbacks.
Yep.
I know Stevie's coming for you. I've thought about that myself a few times about him. But I heard Fox saying what his sort of point of view was, and it was spot on, is if you put him up there, he's only going to become another liability, because he can't tackle. And you need to tackle if you're playing sort of midfield, sort of box to box, and he can't do it, guys.
I disagree with that, David boy. I think Tav would be a good going forward.
David, I think it's disgusting you've come on here to pick on Stevie. What do you think, Southside?
I think you've got a point. The fact that he doesn't really tackle Stevie. I think how many times he's been done defensive positions and in the corner, or letting players just nick the ball around about him. I agree with that fact that he costs you more. But I want attacking midfielders in there, Stevie. I want an attacking player, and I can see. I think Tav's know that. He's know that midfielder, plays there, that position. He's played there for 2 or 3 years. You're converting a right back and thinking, this is like, are you thinking about Liverpool's doing? They're playing Trent Arnold in there, and Man City's playing me up there and on now. Is that what you're thinking, that Tav can do that?
No, it's nothing to do with what's happening down in England or out like that, other players. I just think he's great at going forward. That's the best bit of his game. What do you think the best bit of his game is? Going forward or defending? Everybody must see it's gone forward. And I think I'm playing on the right side of midfield. He's good at what he does. He can shoot, he can cut in and shoot, he can cross a ball. He gets his cell into places other people don't. He's my top goal scorer. What does that tell you?
He can't defend, but
positions.
He's been there too long, Stevie. He's been there too long. I've got
him for another 4 years. He's just signed a 4-year deal.
Well, that's no good management.
I think what you'll find with Tav, and he has got flaws in his games. There's no doubt in that.
It's defending his flaws.
It's not just defending, Stevie. It's distribution when he gets the ball in the midfield as well. It's not something he does well. He's great. He's great with he runs. He's great when he runs, and if he gets the ball out in the right and he's got a bit of time, he can cross it. Yeah, but he's not getting the pay in there. It's a different position. It's a different position. But well, it's all about opinions. Then you go, David. You carry on.
No, I get what everybody's saying, but to me, if we're going to try and move on, we can't keep what we've got because it's not working. If the thing's busted, you fix it, and if you don't fix it, you can't leave what you've got because it's not working, basically. So I would keep Tav. I wouldn't say I would put him on but he'd be a good bench player. But you've got to get that sorted out, the goalkeeper, and just Barisic is in the same boat. It's not working with him either. So until we get that sorted, we're going nowhere.
Listen, I've got a slightly different point of view as for the team. But yeah, but defence loses silly goals. I get that. Southside, one of the problems I've got more so sometimes the defence is we don't score goals at the right time, and sometimes we put ourselves under pressure. Should we be 3 or 4-0 up at Ibrox, and the next thing it's 1-0. In the last 15 minutes, we're all hiding behind seats watching it because it becomes a bomb scare when the game should be done. We've not scored enough goals at the right time, mate.
Aye, I know. Well, that's the thing. If we don't go early and we're 2 or 3 up, usually in games at half time, the thing is, we always look like we'll lose a goal. The thing is, we're asking Tav to be. I mean, we keep the majority of the ball in the Premier League, so we're asking him to be bombing forward all the time, and get on the end and put good crosses in. And then if we get turned out, there's a big gap in that left and the right back position. And normally we'd seen Jack would fall in there because Tav would cover. He didn't have to look behind him because Ryan Jack would be there for it. But with Jack being out the team, nobody else could do that job that he was good at. Lundstrom and that tried it, but it's never ever worked. So we've been exposed on that right hand side many a time. Tav's Tav. He'll have good games and bad games. He scores a lot of goals, and I think that's why people think you should always push him forward because he gets in there and he gets in there. But he's getting into the positions for a reason because he's arriving late, and I think that's why he's good at that. But I agree, Davey. He'll know. I've said I don't think he'll see 4 years. We do have to get the boy Sikowski's coming back for Poland. I don't know whether he'll get a shot at training pre-season, but he was the same age and everything, stature the young boy Patterson that we had. So I don't know if he'll be able to push Tav or the other boy Divine, but should they both get a pre-season under their belts, then we'd like to think. But then you've got the other question as we spoke about earlier. You're trying to take the captain. You want the captain out your team then to play a young boy at 21 now when he comes back. You know, so I think Tav will see another season anyway, and I think Golston will see another season. But I don't think we'll dislodge him going forward next season straight away, Davey.
I agree with what you're saying, definitely, Suicide, but I just think something needs to shuffle the pack a wee bit, you know, and try something different, because what we're doing now, we're going nowhere.
Right, get yourselves a mute, lads. We're going to have a tune.
On Flesher's Hall down by the Clyde, 4 teenage lads did propose to form their own wee football team. The idea there arose way back then. How could they know that millions they would love the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club. A debt we owe talent, pioneers, a legacy they did bestow. We shared down through the years. To Moses and those fine young lads, our gratitude we'll show. We'll sing our song with heart and voice, and let the whole world know. The Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club. Come join as one and toast to all who share our history. Toast William Struth, a noble man, I'm sure you will agree. Lest we forget our absent friends, they watch from up above. In life and death we'll always be with Rangers Football Club. The Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the greatest in all history, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club, the Rangers Football Club.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We're back, gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm here.
Aye.
Stevie, you with us?
I'm here. Stevie?
You here, Stevie boy? Yeah?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes. Can you give Helen Barker a shout out, mate? Be your good self, mate. You're her favourite. Be Knightswood, you.
Oh, no way.
Aye, Helen
These
Barker, you're a shout out, mate.
Hello, Helen. How you doing, hen? I'm just across the road from you.
She's in the posh bit and you're in the poor bit.
That's very much so, aye. Aye. She's in the place where you phone the police to say who recommended us.
All right, okay. Aye, it's going to be an interesting summer, Southside, isn't it? You know, people have different views on it, and it looks as if things are happening. A bit of pace at the club. Are you surprised?
Aye, a wee bit surprised. But obviously, listen, we don't know. Maybe with Douglas Park, it might be a wee bit controversial. I've got no evidence yet, by the way, before anybody says it. But to say Dougie Park and Robertson and that were a bit tight and that, and they were, the gathering was in 1 or 2, and people were trying to go forward and they were holding it back, and then they've stepped down and now people are starting to move positions and people maybe see a new vision, or it's just a case of they're moving out because we've got new ideas and fresh people to come in, and hopefully it's all going to be positive. So it's all happening in the boardroom and round about it in the academy, mate. Positions and people are moving, and I dare say there'll be a few others maybe, and we'll see some new people come in, and it's going to be the same in the summer. So like we thought, there might only be 5 or 6. If when we get enough money in for certain players, we might see quite a big change. It is needed. We need the freshness, and we need everybody to be on the page with Michael Beale, because some of these players are flung him under the bus, and it's his own fault in a way because he picked them. You know, he picked them, and I don't think he should have. But then you might say, well, what else have you got? You have to try and get. We had to try and get a result. But at the end of the day, with the A2 on the park, it didn't matter. We never got that result. We didn't even get an effort or an application off them. So it's down to him. He's the guy that if he keeps certain players, if people want to keep Arfield or a Ryan Jack or Lundstrom and any of them, they're the type of players that will probably cost him his job. So he better make sure that he doesn't have anybody left that he can't trust. And the ones that he can't move the now, I think he will try and move them in a transfer window going forward. But he has to be ruthless, because if he's no and he keeps some of this baggage with him, it will cost him his job. So we need a freshness, we need winners, and we need people that want to go and get success.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as we keep saying, there's loads of players out of contract. But we'll come back to that. Stevie, the things at the club that's happening. Well, Holland left the academy. Obviously, the boy Dixon's left the boardroom. They're all employees, you know, so things have been shook up. We'll know how it's going to go at the whole picture, and folks. Are you surprised how things have changed, mate?
Aye, definitely, especially the board. I mean, I think some of it. I don't really watch what goes on behind closed doors. As long as you're hearing everything is not too bad. I mean, we've went for a club, it was turning ours to save 30 million. Now we're up at 100 odd. You know, so things are really going good at the club as a business. I don't really look into a lot of that, but I'm glad things are moving at board level. I'm glad things are going to be moving short. Hopefully it moves a wee bit quicker as a team, because you want them into gel right away. A good pre-season together, a few games together before we hit the Champions League preliminaries. So, it's gone quite quick. Aye, Robertson's away, Bisgrove's in, and the one thing I like about Bisgrove was where the last board really failed was there wasn't a lot of consultation between the fans and the board, and now we're getting this chance. They're going to have a lot of question and answer sort of thing every quarter. I believe there'll be one coming up shortly, so that's a great thing. I mean, they'll feel the mood of the camp of the fans, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and maybe take that back to boardroom level. So it's all good, and it's all happening quick, as you say, Ox.
Mm-hmm. That'll be in Edmonton House for the guys that donated 50 grand outside the first one.
Aye, it will be. Yeah, nice wee plaque up on the wall, so you do. No, it's good that they'll communicate. Listen, there's boardroom changes, there's going to be loads of things happening. I think we can all safely say that we'll all be looking to see who we're going to bring in, and then we can see what's happening. But the board will come out. I think you'll hear something from John Bennett or Mr. James Bisgrove in time. I think they'll wait till a lot of things have been put in place, and then I think they'll come out and they'll be maybe asked to explain things, and they'll explain it in the vision going forward. I'm just hoping that they're on the same page by the sounds of it, and hopefully we'll have people in there that might be able to get a bit more money in. And like I said, we might have to front load it a wee bit more than we might have. And if we have to do it, and these people are willing to take that gamble and say, let's go for this, and we'll get maybe 10, 12 players in, because that's what we need, no 5, then it's going to be positive for us, mate. And we're renewing our books, or have renewed our books, so that's what we've got to look forward to. A new sort of good squad on the park next season.
Mm-hmm. I think Oxford the thing about we're heading in a healthier direction. But unfortunately, this should have been done a season ago. That's when we missed the boat. Now we're playing catch up again. But when you see what is happening, well, I think that's something, well, we don't know yet, but it looks promising. That's all I can say at the moment. It looks promising.
Well, Davey, we spent close to £11 million last season. Do you know what I mean? Bringing in the squad, bringing in the players. And you've got to account for all the wages that you pay out and tap of that and that, I think.
No more than that, Southside.
Sorry?
Ridvan, Matondo, Cholak, Ben Davis.
Aye, well, there you go then, aye. Forgot about Kolak. Aye, so they've put in a decent amount of money there, Davey. And obviously the players that we've put in, like we said, we've had a chance to judge them, but a lot of injuries have kept them back, and there's one or two that we've hardly seen. So, I mean, they both put in a decent amount, and I think if you'd done that at that time, they're looking for at least 8 players, at least 6 of them or 5 of them, at least be good all season. Unfortunately for us, Tom Warren's we brought in, has been out all season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If we learned, I mean, going back to, you've got to make tough and unpopular decisions that you let guys go sometimes at the peak of their powers, Stevie, when the fans will not like it. But it's because of the contract situation, or they've only got 18 months or 2 year left. You've got to, is it? You still can't force guys out. They've got that contract if they don't want to move. But however, if you get decent offers in and both parties, you've got to do it. Maybe a big learning curve for us. Is that fair, Stevie?
Oh, we need to learn for it. I mean, look at the amount of players we let run their contracts down there. I mean, we must have been only client. There was something about 6 or 7 players that their contracts were running down, and we weren't offering them anything, and we were just letting them pick and choose what they want to do. That's the way to do business. Just the same as I think that 4 year for Tab and Golson. Maybe they should have got a contract, 2 years tops, but no 4 year. 4 year contracts. Dearie me. That's no good for business. Definitely no, Ox.
No, I don't disagree with that one. Southside, people will say that we should have sold. If it was true, the offers for Kent and Morelos, now we don't know if they were true or the media talk or whatever. We wanted to keep them 2 years ago, peaking of powers and all that. Ultimately, it's been a failure, isn't it?
Yeah, it becomes that because when you look at it in hindsight, but maybe at the time, I mean, Stephen Gerrard would have had a bit of pull at that time, and he might have just said no. And that's sometimes when you've got to take it out the manager's hands. But when you do that, then you don't know how he reacts to that. He was trying to get money to get players, and obviously we're saying, well, we should be selling him if the bids had come in. And we haven't. To be honest, we've had our money's worth out of Alfredo, to be honest, for what he's cost us and what he's done at the club and that in his time. I'm not too fussed about him walking away for nothing now. At the time, we probably should have cashed him and tried to then reinvest into the squad, because most teams will do that, but we didn't. And maybe the manager at the time, Ox and Stephen Gerrard, had a bit of say in that. And that's why we didn't.
So the players that's particularly leaving the club this year, right? Alan McGregor, if he goes, Scotty Arfield, Brian Jack, Stephen Davis, Alfredo Morelos, Phil Hollander, and Ryan Kent. There's 7, yeah. I just want to get through them. The time at the club, hit and miss. Simple answer. Just one word answer, Davey, right? Made it simple for you because I know you're a simple guy. Right? Alan McGregor, hit and miss, Stevie. Southside.
A hit.
David.
Are you meaning this season?
Time at the club.
Oh, yeah. Hit. Oh, hit. Okay, of course.
Stephen Davis, Southside.
A hit.
Stevie. Davey.
3 hits.
Ryan Jack, Southside.
I'll say a hit because of his form when he was at his best, aye.
David?
Miss.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with
Stevie?
that.
Oh, miss for me, miss.
Scotty Arfield. Stevie?
Hit.
Southside?
Hit.
Do you want me, if it helps you, do you want me to have the not proven verdict? Would that help you?
Aye. It helped me.
Davey?
Aye, 3 hits.
Phil Hollander? Davey?
Miss.
Southside?
Aye, he's a miss.
Aye, 3 misses.
Mm-hmm. Alfredo Morelos. Davy.
Half a hit.
Overall,
Outside.
for me.
Listen, he's a hit for me. He's a hit for me, mate.
Stevie.
Hit. Overall.
Ryan Kent.
Oh.
Stevie.
Miss.
Outside.
At the time, no counting the price tag, he'll
Miss.
be a hit. No, I can't, Stevie. He had some tremendous games. No. I'm getting. I know what you're going to say. Many good games, and all that, but no, you've got to look at what he did do. He's just fell off a cliff now. So where the piece? What he's a miss. You're right.
You get a casting vote, David.
Well, it's all that Sue says. I think I'm going to go for a hit.
I think they're ganging up you, Stevie. I really do. I think it's despicable what they're doing, mate.
Well, if I turned around and said to you, how many can walk out the front door of them and how many would walk out with a blanket over their head?
Mm-hmm. Good call.
I mean, that's the thing about Alfie and Ryan. They're not going to leave this. They're not going to leave with the best wishes of support. Would you think so, Southside?
Listen, it's a bit as much as we worshipped Brian Laudrup when he was there. Look what he done in his last season and all. Appalling, right? Appalling, but he's probably not getting as much as abuse as he's
to. Why? Do you know why?
Because he turned it on and he played well and he was a brilliant for 3 seasons and never really let you down.
And up until the last 3 games of the season, we should have still won the league and we go to the cup final, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. It's all about attitude and application as well. Mm-hmm. But Ryan Kent, as I said, and Alfredo Morelos, for me, they've been miles off it for a long time. And it's sad that I said here last Friday, I'm hoping that the two of them will want to turn up when they get picked and play well for us and go out and try. Imagine having to think that about your Rangers team going out on a park. It's disgusting. And that's why I'm surprised that he picked them. But he obviously thought, I'll try and get one last effort out of them. But they've not had an effort in them for long enough. So that's down to Michael Beale. So hopefully we'll not see any of the two of them on Saturday. I don't care who plays, but they two can't be stripped or on that bench on Sunday. On Sunday, they two can't be on that bench for most of that support, I believe.
Yeah.
Can you see
something? Yes, say something. I honestly believe, this is my opinion, you've got to be a Rangers support.
The children are the future.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. You have to be a Rangers supporter to play for Rangers.
Who, like John Gregg?
Well, anybody that's a diehard, then you'll give everything every time.
John Gregg, what team did he support? What team did John Gregg support?
Hearts.
Mm-hmm. Sandy Jarvin, what team did he support?
Hearts.
All right, just asking.
I know, but that's not the point. When they go to Rangers, they become Bears, and they were Bears, and they're still Bears, and they were the best Bears.
Well, Morris Johnson.
Oh, don't start me.
See, they're the two of them ganging up on you, Davey. This is what happens with me. Do you see what happens? Do you see what happens?
When you done your all-time 11, Southside, who was your 2 centre halves?
Richard Gough and I think it was Terry Butcher, to be honest.
Terry Butcher, was he brought up a Bern, mate?
No,
just asking Davey.
I know you're trying to get it. That's not a point. When you're there, your attitude's going to be true blue, and that's what's wrong with a couple of them. That's not there. That's not in their DNA.
I think what we're struggling with, Davey, is that in modern football, I think it's Fox says they count their watches more than their medals. Southside.
You're right.
Well, that's exactly that. I mean, if you listen to some of the players that talk, Davey, I mean, you hear them in Durant and Derek Ferguson, not just to go up and clean the stones, clean the boots. They don't clean boots anymore. They get paid good money. They come in, they get good facilities. It's like Gerrard said, I don't want to give him a no excuse culture. No, you get everything. So just go out and play. You know, the manager's job is to get the team prepared Monday to Friday. And the player's job is to play on the Saturday. That's his entertainment game. That's when he turns up and plays. But they get that early now, Davey. And some of them, I mean, Graham Souness said it years back, I've got players in that Newcastle squad, they don't even like playing football. But they play because they're talented. No, how can you not want to play football? How would you want to sit out injured all the time and just take the money? Players do it now. They do it. You know, some of them don't want to come back and play. I just think players would want to gear up and play on a Saturday. But you've seen that some don't. But hopefully when we buy these new players that we're putting into this squad, that they'll all be playing regular. And hopefully when we're overhauling everything, we might as well look at the medical department and all and see if there's anything to change in there. Because we need to make sure if somebody goes out with a hamstring injury or something that they're going to be back. Usually in the 4 to 6 week period that it normally takes for a hamstring. If it's usually a severe one, it might be 8 weeks. They say it's the way it used to be, but
8 months.
Aye, so we hope all that improves as well, Davey. But I just think football players these days, they get that much money too early, and it just becomes if they are talented, they don't need to try that hard all the time, and they'll easily get another move somewhere else, and that's what a lot of them do.
Yeah, but what I'm meaning regarding Rangers supporters don't, and some of them don't get that. You watch Cantwell on Sunday. He was there getting the crowd going and that. Now many that other lot is playing their day that.
I forgot he was. I didn't realise he was born in Brighton, Stevie. Cantwell.
Tino for lap call.
Brighton. David, you were doing ever so well. You were doing ever so well, mate. Yeah, by the way, I'm going to say something here. I agree with you. I think it's important if we can, we have Rangers supporters in the team, but they need to be good enough. Southside.
Well, aye, we've had a good core of them. You know, what McGregor and Scotty Arfield and Ryan Jack, and we had Stephen Davis in there. Probably missed one or two, but you know, we had that squad there that knew what it was about and could tell them and make sure that they would. You'd think you'd get an extra 5% out of them, you know, fighting for the jersey and know what it is to play for Rangers, because you'd expect if they weren't on the park, they'd win one of the stands at Ibrox. But I just think, Davey, you just need to get players that first and foremost, it's down to the manager. You heard Todd Cantwell saying he came because of Michael Beale. I think he gets what the club's about. He's getting a sample this side of the season, so he'll know what to expect him and Raskin next year. He'll pass that on to any of the boys that he knows that's going to come in. And you just hope that they'll get there with attitude and we'll get a good system, mate. And the system he's maybe trying to tinker with now and again with this squad, with better players. And I was thinking, I think you'll go back, try to get that boy we try to get for Swansea. So, Stevie, he might play that sort of right-hand side, but you're thinking of playing Tav. And I think that's what might not get Tav into that type of position, you know. I think he will be right back until somebody can move him out. But I think we need fast-forward players with an eye for goal. And whether it's that boy or somebody else that it's like him, it's dynamic and can get forward. I think that's what we need in the team.
Stevie, ideally, we'd like 11 bears out there, but not always possible, is it? You know, you just want people that right attitude and want to play for the jersey when they get the chance, yeah?
Aye, of course we do. We want as many players that feel the same way as the fans in there as possible, blue noses. But look, this transfer is one of the most important we're going to have in our history, probably, because they won the treble this year. We can't afford any slip-ups this year. You know, they're catching up trophy-wise and everything else. We can't. This has got to be done right. We need seasoned pros. Probably quality rather than quantity would suit me, but I know there's a lot of people who are wanting out the door. It'll free up wages and everything else, but we really need to make sure that we're signing players this season, whether they're blue noses or no, that they're going to fight for that jersey. They're going to fight. And let's be honest, there's no minimum. I think Cantwell, the news, starting to get a wee bit between his teeth, and he's starting to play to the fans a wee bit and get what we're about. I can see wee bits in him. You know, when he took the water off, I can't remember which Celtic player it was. He took the water off him and put did Alf went into the bag and gave him the water. But no, just wee things I seen Cantwell was telling me that he's getting, but no, getting it a wee bit, getting what the support would want. And if we can bring more boys like that in this season and hit the ground running, you know, that's what we really need. Blue noses, yes, of course, you want them brought up here. They get it. They've got a good background, a good upbringing, and they're a blue nose. But as Ox said, they've got to be good enough, haven't they?
Is there anybody springs to mind, David, for you, when you're thinking in that rationale?
Aye, East Ferguson, it was Aberdeen.
Aye, obviously, I get it, mate. It would most likely cost you about 10 million minimum to get him now.
I know at that time, but
I know. The ship sailed, mate. But aye. I mean, the boys kicked on, and it looks as if he's going to move out there if the rumours are true. You know, I get it. But aye, that's a good shout. If you're being honest, Southside, it's a decent shout, isn't it?
Aye, some people might be shouting for Billy Gilmour, no another one. But aye, if you could get a few, but I think our problem will be to get Scottish boys first and foremost, if we're going to get any for a run about the first team. I don't know. I think Michael Beale is something we've got to look at as a club. So I don't know if they've maybe looked at a couple of boys somewhere and think, well, aye, we're just going to go for them and that'll be it. I don't know, unless he's going down the route that it'll always be sort of championship and run about. It'll not be as many Scottish players. Most people probably saying, well, how many good Scottish players out there is there, to be honest?
yeah.
Aye, it's I mean, you're still saying you would take the boy in this, but yeah, you still say you'd take him.
I would take.
Does he score 2 chances in the final, the semi-final?
I think he scores that all right, doesn't he? I mean, he scores all different.
I think Rab seen this bit with the score.
Listen, he might, whether people think he's good enough or no is up for debate, right? You can only come in and see we create chances, or we should be creating chances. I'll tell you what, he scored the one at Parkhead in the after half time at Alfie missed. But you've seen the type of goals he scored. He scored one against Hearts a couple of weeks ago. He went out with a calf injury. I mean, think about it. He come back after an ACL and he's back and he's fit. And he was fit and he was playing straight away. You've got players coming back for ACLs that don't play for another 2 months after it and can't get back in the team and don't even look ready. So he come back, he banged in, was it 12 goals in 14 games or something? He went out for a couple of weeks with a calf injury, which he might get after being out for that length of time. But the boys get good movement. He scores goals. He's missed a couple of chances, but you can give him the ball up himself and he can go and create for himself. I've seen him go and run one-on-one with a defender out wide, come inside and score. He scores goals in Scotland, and I think we need to get a player like that. Whether he's good enough to play week in, week out, it only depends on form and how the team's playing going forward. But I think there's something there, and he's on the last year of his contract. So it would be up to Rangers to test their resolve. Probably $1.5 million, you might get him. So he's a proven goal scorer in Scotland. He plays with Hibs, and they don't always attack. They used to play Gogic in the middle of the park. They used to take Scott Allen out when they played certain games. Scott Allen used to feed him through balls all the time before his injury. Look, he scored goals at Dunfermline when he went there. and he scored goals at Rafe Rovers when he started out in there. He just scored goals, and he's continued a poor Hibs team, and he's still scoring goals after a bad injury, and he's back. He looks fit. So I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I thought it was worth a punt.
You've been consistent in that. That's Stevie. He's been consistent.
He has to have. He has to have, and he's right. He has a proven goal, and I think he would run the channels and everything. But listen, I'm going to say this: he would have scored that chance to Callagher at the weekend. I'll tell you that right now. It's trial and error, and we'll say it again. Every somebody you buy, everything's a risk in it. You would only time would tell him. So why not? And as old Davy, Lewis Ferguson, I can get way back, and we spoke about him. And at that particular time, I wouldn't have had him, to be honest. But looking now, maybe I was wrong, you know. But there is work. Who is it who's meant to be taking him again? Is it Juventus? I heard it was taking him. Was it Juventus? The rumour was set to be. Anyway, but you're never going to get that kind of money. You're never going to see him. John Fleck, I know he was another blue nose. It was rumoured, at one point, but nothing ever came out of that either.
Aye, they're there. You have to scout them, but fair shout, Davey. I did see some of your point, Davey. I know it was a bit flippant, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, it's important that people understand the club.
You admit that you're flippant. Yeah, you're not flippant.
I was trying to be nice to you there, mate, but I'm going to stop it if that's your attitude.
You said that to me the other night. I'll need to get rid of old Davey, and I hung up. I was going to let somebody else in.
We were hoping it was nothing trivial.
I'll tell you what, see that the chap John that came on earlier, he made a very good point, which I thought was really good. Whether I don't think it materialised right enough, but he get Gerrard back as director of football, or even I've heard slight rumours about Souness, but I can't see Gerrard going back to that kind of role. I think he still wants to be management, but I think that'd be a marvellous appointment for Rangers.
I think he'd be. Personally, I never thought about it. I mean, I think the trouble is it would overshadow the manager. Anyway, we've been joined by AK. Evening, AK.
Good evening, youngster. David, Southside, Big Stevie. All right, boys.
All right, Alec.
How you doing, Alec?
Hi, good evening. Just thought I would start with a year ago today, Jimmy Bell passed away, guys. That's a guy we miss in the club, eh?
Yeah.
Definitely.
A year passes. He's never been replaced in there, unfortunately. Here he's talking about blue noses in the. No, of course. Blue noses in the team. Aye, we would all love them, but I think they're few and far between now. To be honest with you, the Union Bears asked for change. They've certainly got changes in the boardroom. We've got an opportunity there to, maybe select some certain guys who are possibly available to come in there now. But I don't know whether it's going to be business decisions or whether it's going to be sentimental decisions to go in there. But I would love to see certain bodies coming back in there, guiding us properly. But as for the team, I think we need a clear out. I'm with Big Stevie. I think it's a rip up and start again. We can't continue to keep McGregor's and Davis and Arfield and Jack. But by the way, that's 4 Rangers men. But they're coming to the point of their career where we just can't keep them any longer. It wouldn't have happened 10, 15 years ago. Keeping these sort of guys at that sort of age, we've got to start fresh, younger approach. I mean, you've seen the difference that Cantwell and Raskin bring to the team. Ridvan hopefully gets a run of games today. They give a different impetus to the team, and we need that because there's bodies there that's playing in our team still that was in Gerrard's Cup final 4 years ago. That's not right. That's where we're going wrong. I think there's a staleness crept into the team, and I think there's a lack of motivation. Body's breaking down, no good enough, no fit enough, no quick enough. And it's now what we're seeing now is that a team of players that are ageing, a lot of injuries, getting well paid, and they're sitting there because they know they're not going to get these sort of wages elsewhere. So your Golson, your Tavernier, they're not going to go elsewhere and get 30 odd grand a week. So why not just sit out at the Rangers?
I don't know if that's true, mate. I don't know if that's true. I was talking to somebody that's very close to the captain at the weekend, and he had a chance to move for a lot more than double his wages, and chose to stay with Rangers, mate.
Well, aye, fair enough if you've got that information. But 8 years now he's been with Oxford. That's kind of unheard of.
All right.
I'm backing up Big Stevie here. I'm backing up, sorry.
What about Davies' point then about John Gregg and Sandy Jardine, who were Hearts?
No, I heard you. You're on that past me myself last year.
Trying to cut you off because you agreed with me. That's what he's trying to do there, cut you off.
Aye, I know. You notice that, big man? I'm in here to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Listen, Tavernier.
Some people would say
frailties in defence.
Some people would say he's a cooker of socks.
The two are the same size, so I'm sure their shooters would match anyway. But no, I agree. We agree that Tav, right, could possibly should go right, and he should go, and see, honest, Golson should go and all. But Michael Beale, it'll be up to him, and this is what the decision he's got. If you keep too many of these players, if you can get the right players in the right sort of positions, Alex, and we're going a forward team, and we might still lose your goal for the right hand side with Tav, but he might manage to keep his place this year because their contracts are so solid. No, Tav signed a 2-year extension and he got his 4-year deal. Now, whether Michael Beale, I think they'll both get 1 season. I think they'll get 1 season. That's just my opinion. There's no heard it for anywhere or anything like that. I just think my thing is they'll get 1 season to produce the goods. And if they don't, then I think they'll see the door quicker than they think. And then you just make it hard for them. Just tell them, better get your agent on the phone because you'll not be getting a game here next year if you've not produced. Or, like I said, we've got maybe the boy Zakowski and we've got another boy, Devine, if they can try and push him. But we had the debate earlier, would you take the captaincy off Tav? That's another debate because then it comes down to his form. But I think while he still holds the armband, it's a big player to move out the team unless Michael Beale wants to be really ruthless if his performances aren't up to scratch going forward next year.
It'll be interesting to see what they would do with different players running about them, you know. If you go back to when Souness came in the door and people were saying a long time ago football was different, Stevie, a guy, you need to get rid of Stuart Monroe, he'll never get in that team. He was in it for years.
Well,
you know?
I get that. I get. Look, we're at a situation here where we tried last season to be loyal to certain players, Ox, and it came back and it's bit as them. Right? I'm thinking this year now, no more sentiment, no more carry on, no more he's a blue nose, we'll keep Pam, all the crap of the day. We've got to rip it up and start again, mate. And I'm telling you now, Tav's, listen, here's a question to the panel, right? Tav's been unbelievable for us since he came in for the money. £250,000, something like that, £250,000, 300,000, something like that, was it? He's been unbelievable for us. He's unbelievable player for us at right back. I get the numbers is phenomenal. I get it. But he's not a captain, mate. He's not a captain. He's pinning nobody against the wall. He doesn't drive the team. He doesn't shout at anybody. He doesn't fight. You've seen what he wrote in the programme. You've seen what the white flag up. He wrote the whole article in the programme about being feet to them. Blah, blah, blah. More or less, give or take. That's what he was saying. We know. Listen, he's been a great player for us, and I want him still to remain in the team. But no, as the captain, I would honestly play him on the right side of midfield along with Cantwell and Raskin. That's where I would have Tav. But he's no... I want to rip this up, get a big 6-foot killer like Bridge wants. Somebody, a seasoned pro in that team, that's going to put that armband on, and he's going to demand things of people. He's going to demand of players. So see when the likes of your Ryan Kent that ran about like a headless chicken on Sunday, you're going to have somebody getting a hod of him in that dressing room at half time and saying, "Oh, what are you about? What's happened to you? What are you doing?" We've got nobody like that. Nobody. And that's the truth. Tab's been a fantastic signing for us, great player for us, but never a captain and never a defender. Never a defender in his life. We all know it. We all know it, and that's the bottom line. You could go in this panel, and if you answered honestly and didn't let your heart rule your head, no way should Tav, no way is he a defender, and no way is he a captain. No way. Great player for us. Numbers are unbelievable. He was our only goal threat the last 2 games against them. It just tells you about my front three, my forward line. But no way is Tav a captain, and no way is he a defender. No way. You seen what happened on Sunday, Jota? Just left him stalling with a free heater.
Yeah, he did.
What can't lie, is that no? But Del Boy Rodney say, you've seen it for yourself. It doesn't matter how loyal he's been to the club. You've got to see it how it is. And that's how it is. He's no a captain. He's too nice. He's no a defender. I'm sorry. We need to rip it up and start again.
Well said, Stevie. Well said.
Put him out the right side of midfield.
Is that a Just Eat delivery arrived?
By the way, you can always tell when he's getting hungry southside, can't you?
Aye, I've heard that rant. Then he goes, "Where's the pies? Where's the pies?" No.
If I was in that dressing room on Sunday, he would have got a goal anyway. I'll tell you that right now, because they wouldn't have wanted to come back into that dressing room at the end of the game. I'd have been sitting there with my tin hat, my whistle ready to go ahead with them. I'll tell you that right now. There's no enough.
You'd have been sitting in that dressing room on Sunday, you'd have went for a lie down.
Stevie, can I say something here?
Yes.
That was a great explanation of what you said. So you must have put on the right apron.
Right. Well, can we leave the apron but suit it tonight? What a cookery show. Come on, man, it's about the Rangers. Listen, Tav's a good boy, great player for us. He's never a defender. He's so weak. He's lost goal after goal. He's an attacking midfielder. I'm telling you, he's an attacking midfielder. I'd love to see him in that midfield. I'd love to try it.
He isn't, mate.
That's your opinion.
No, he isn't. Well, Mark Warburton, Stevie G, who else? Michael Beale, Graham Murray. I don't think anybody's tried to play him there, mate.
Well, I'll tell you the new. See if you're not going to experiment with him in the midfield, get rid of him then, because he's a weak. Because we're losing goal after goal after goal. Many times it's happened year in, year out. People have got goals for his side, and we just want that happen next season again.
I'm going to tell you something. If they don't score for one side, they'll score for the other.
They could get through the middle.
All right, I'll gear up. Interesting. Right, south side, but all the things that's happening in the club is obviously rumoured about investment today. I don't know if I'm putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5, but things are moving at a pace, every day.
Aye, listen, we've put a new chairman in and we've put Bisgrove into their positions, right? The board are having a bit of a shuffle. I think he's financial director, wasn't he? Mr. Dixon, wasn't he? And obviously there's a bit of restructuring going on. We're obviously going to have a push at something and we want to get some money in. And like I said, maybe people that sat in the background there and now are in positions or want to push things forward that they couldn't originally. We don't know, but it's going to be positive. It just feels like we've got to change the squad and we're changing the boardroom, and it just feels a freshness is going to be about the place for the start of next season, mate. That's what it feels like, and that's what we want. You know, you need to have that. We've got staleness. There's too much staleness about the club. Too much. You
Too many
know,
people
and
too comfortable, Biggie.
aye, and like Stevie said, the right back's been sitting comfortable for a lot of time. I feel slightly a wee bit. I thought Tav, if he stayed another year or two, or had maybe another year in him, I thought he might have got a testimonial for the length of time he's been at the club and for what he's done at his time. I mean, there was nobody more delighted than me, Stevie, when he lifted 55. If there was one player in that squad that I wanted to lift that trophy, it was James Tavernier. You know, but we know that he loses goals for the right back position umpteen times, and it's happened so often. And some people say it's how we play, and Jack wasn't there to cover. But at the end of the day, that was basic defending last week, and he just never done it. And he's getting a hard time on here tonight, but rightly so. And Golston's get too comfortable in that team and all. He sits there week in, week out, and he's guaranteed his spot. So I hope that if John Souttar stays fit, gets a good pre-season, that he can sit comfortable in there, because he's got an error in him and all, and stones and dilly-dallies on a ball and isn't commanding. And if John Souttar can really have a good pre-season, or anybody else that we sign, he come in and can play on the right-hand side, I'd like to think that his place will be under pressure and all. And if they two lose their place next year going forward, that'll be enough to move them on at the end of the season. If they're not getting a regular game in our team going forward next season, they might start, but it's the end to the end of the season. So it's things that we'll need to wait and see. But Michael Beale's job's on the line. If he wants to be successful at Rangers and not be there a year or 18 months because players have let him down that he's kept, then it'll be entirely up to him.
He's got to stay loyal to Dodds. He's definitely got to take it in a shaky nail. It's plain as simple as that. No, if he's going to stick with guys that's losing goals at the back all the time and guys that can't finish, then he's off, isn't he? It's as plain as simple as that. If I was Michael Beale and I'd be ripping it up and starting again. That's just me, but
you're right. I mean, but naturally we're going to lose a lot of players, and then in the press in the last day, you've heard that John McLaughlin, Scott Wright, and even the day there was the stories breaking on some of the far out there sites that they're talking about Matondo, Ben Davis as well. You know, they're trying to move on to free up to help with this rebuild. You know, I don't really know how good they would be in long term. Ben Davis, maybe 20 odd games. He was good up to a few weeks ago, and then he's had 3 bad games. The row he had, it wasn't bad at the weekend. You know, but Matondo, we've not seen enough, if we're being honest, to judge. So, and maybe even Hadji was rumoured amongst them as well. So, and Redvan as well. So, if they would leave and they bring in money, it's going to be a completely different squad next season, Ake.
It needs to be, Oxshare. It's got to that stage now. I mean, we're watching them win another treble. It's 5 trebles in 7 years. It's unheard of, you know. And it's just we're no far away.
Do you take great delight in saying that, or are you perverse? I just need to know.
No, absolutely not. Hate it.
Okay.
I hate watching them.
You seem to have a thing that you keep mentioning on our team, you know.
I will. Listen, that's the benchmark now. We can't ignore it.
Really?
You know,
is it nobody?
Yes, it is. Aye, it is, but that's the benchmark. We were the benchmark for them for often enough, and that's where Tommy Burns, you know, we're actually starting to sound like we play better football than them, but we can never beat them.
As well, you've mentioned.
Oh, come on now, Ox. We can't ignore what's happening before us, and that's them winning 17 trophies in 21 out of the last 7 years for we come back to the Premier. That's not good enough. It's no good. Listen, Oxshare, it's facts, so you can't deny facts. And
your arithmetic's brilliant.
But I was going to say, going back to the Tavernier thing, I mean, I know exactly where Stevie's coming from, but there are not enough leaders in the team either. We're pointing fingers at Tab because of the captain, and there are not enough leaders in there to help him. And I watched a Souness video there, and he says when he came into Rangers, he had Butcher, he had Wilkins, he had John Brown, he had Richard Gough, you know, guys of that ilk throughout the team.
When he came into Rangers, they were all there.
No, he brought them in. That was his best signings that he was saying. But even John Brown that he brought into the dressing room, and then Walter carried it on with bringing in Andy Gorham and guys like that, Stuart McCall. You know, that's what we need. That's what we're missing. That's what Stevie's point is today. You want people to take responsibility in the team and point fingers at the team if they're not doing their job properly. I mean, of course they are. But Tavernier watched Jota 3 times and he lost him at the back post. He didn't have a clue that it was there. But there were so many things that happened on that goal. Kent's on his bike to start an attack. He runs away for the ball. Lundstrom's standing watching the ball. Davis is doing the same. Barisic, I don't know what he was doing. You know, it's just a calamity errors. And we gifted them.
He's no squeaky clean with the goal here, is he?
Absolutely, you could blame 5 of them, you know, on that point. But the point is, it's another gifted goal and it's another trophy going, and we need to rip this up and start again. But because
to win trophies, mate, you need to score goals.
Absolutely, and the miss for Sakala that's twice he's done it, twice in big cup finals, which suggests he's not good enough to. I mean, we can, because he's got a good smile and we like his attitude, that wants a start in the Rangers team now. I mean, Michael Beale's tell you there, he wants to give value to the starting shirt. If you play well, you deserve to keep your place in the team. Well, who was our best player at Aberdeen? Big Suter, and then he dropped him. What does that send a message to the rest of the boys in the dressing room?
Yeah.
It's no good, and it's no good coming from Beale either.
I don't think anybody was surprised that Suter was dropped, and rightly or wrongly. I think, you know, most people, if they were going to play him at the weekend, would have played him for Ben Davies. You sort of stood alone a wee bit outside.
I did, because I think if Michael Beale was probably considering taking Ben Davies with him, I think he was sticking by him. I think he just put it down to whatever he decided to play him, and he played him, and rightly or wrongly in people's eyes, it is what it is. The most important thing was to be the result. We've got a squad that's totally underachieved, and we know that. And we can't bring any new signings in and keep a lot of them to have that lingering effect. Because any time that they don't get a result, we'll just get back to, well, we've got him playing still in that squad, and whatever. So it needs a fresh broom. But whether we've got enough players that Michael Beale knows can fill the positions that we'd like to see total change in, that's why I don't think we'll see it straight away. I think you'll see it going forward. But if the squad's better, you hope that if Tav and Golson stay at the moment and they keep their position, then they're just going to start performing better and playing better. But ideally, I think in the long run, they two need to go as well, because we need to get 2 new centre-backs in, 2 good full-backs. Whether Red Van Stuyzer goes, we need 1 left and 1 right anyway going forward. And then we're looking, he knows he's attacking players, and he said he's already got as a striker that he's got in mind. So we'll just need to trust him, that whoever he brings in, just get the job done and play the way he wants to play.
It's going to be interesting, Davey, isn't it?
Aye, well, it's uppers and onwards, guys, and I know we're ready to play the tune soon. It's been a pleasure being on the show tonight, and an extra bonus ball getting. I wasn't going to say Francie and Josie, the dynamic duo. Always, I mean, I was listening to these earlier guys. The tears were running down my cheek. These are brilliant. They're brilliant. Oh, she's good and all. He does a great job. Look, I'll jump out anyway before I get kicked out. And always remember, guys, we are a people, and that'll never change. Good night, boys.
Cheers, Davey. Always a pleasure, mate.
Yep. Brilliant.
I wonder what's up with me being nice to him, Southside.
Aye, he's just left and didn't even hear it. Nah, wee Bert's good. Like him when he comes on.
Aye, he's a gentleman, I know, isn't he? Absolutely.
Good banter for him.
What's he Stoke for him? I didn't mean to. Anyway, AK, over to you, last word.
Oh, thanks for taking my call again, boys. Cheering up and look forward to the weekend.
Aye. I think we're all looking forward to the end of the season.
Yeah, aye, that's true.
Big Stevie.
What can I say? This is what the wee platform's all about. All different opinions. I've got mine. You and Southside have got yours. I'm glad Alec came on, back me up a wee bit tonight. I think we've got to rip it up and start again, guys. But as Ox, you said, it's going to be very, very interesting. I think we need to get them in quick as we possibly can. So we got a good pre-season. We got a few games under our belts for the preliminary rounds. But we've got games before that. Let's just see what he does with the team. Thanks for having us.
Cheers, Biggie. Southside.
Aye, mate, thoroughly enjoyed it tonight. Good to be on my big pal Stevie. It's all about opinions, and that's good, because if you go on the show, you get a chance to put your opinion across, and sometimes we don't always agree with it, but you get a chance to put it across and try and explain it, you know. So, but it's been a good laugh and a wee bit of banter, mate. Looking forward to Sunday. Hopefully it'll be a 3 points in the bag for the Rangers. It'll be a hard game, but it's what we're all about, winning week in, week out. So let's get back to winning ways. So thanks for having us on, mate.
You never know. You might be out late Sunday night celebrating the coronation. You never know.
No doubt.
Right. Thanks to John, who called in earlier on. Of course, Saul Davey and the one and only AK. Thanks to Southside and Stevie for doing the show. Fox and Old School for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through. Well, the legends come and the legends go, but Rangers live on just the same. For a new one's born when the blue shirts won, and we all remember their name. We are the legendary Rangers. We wear the legendary blue. Today, forever and for always, we are Rangers through and through. And there is no doubt what we're all about when we face the world and say,